Lovely people. Champions League knockout football is back, and the first legs just gave us 4 very different stories. I'm smart, and we are breaking it all down. One demolition, one comeback thriller, one tight Bernabeu-type heist, and one efficient 2-0 win. But first, remember, the away goals rule is gone. It is simple. Aggregate score decides it. If it is level after 180 minutes, we go to extra time and penalties. Now let's go match by match. First up, Galatasaray 5, Juventus 2. And yes, that red card matters. This wasn't just a win, this was a tie-bender. Juventus actually looked like they were taking control early on, going 2-1 up through Turnkoop scoring twice. But then, Istanbul happened. Galatasaray flipped the game with a second-half surge that felt like Istanbul swallowed Juventus whole. It came down to set-piece bite and momentum. The equalizer came early in the second half through Noah Lang. After that, you could feel Juve's defensive line starting to retreat instead of stepping. Once your backline starts backing up, every duel becomes panic. Then Galatasaray took the lead through Davinson Sanchez from a set-piece. That's planning. Then came the killer. Juventus went down to 10 men when Juan Cabal was sent off late on, and Galatasaray absolutely punished that emotional drop. Lang grabbed another, and they finished it off with a late goal involving Victor Osimhen's creative impact and Sacha Boey finishing the move. They smelled blood. So what does the second leg look like in Turin? On aggregate, it's 5-2. Juventus need a 3-goal swing just to force extra time. The math is brutal. A 3-0 or 4-1 win takes it to extra time. 4+ goals? Juve go through? Anything else? Galatasaray advance. It's a mountain to climb. Tactically, Juventus have only one path, fast start plus controlled aggression. They need an early goal to turn the stadium into pressure. But they can't be reckless. Galatasaray know exactly what spaces Juve will leave when chasing. Gala just needs to protect the central zones. If Juventus don't score early, it becomes psychological torture. Every minute makes them chase harder, and that's where the gaps appear. Gala are favorites. Next, as Monaco 2, PSG 3. This was chaos in the best way. Monaco started like a team that landed a punch clean. Folarin Balogun scored after 55 seconds, and then again in the 18th minute. PSG were 2-0 down and wobbling. Then came the sub. Desiré Doué came on for the injured Dembélé and instantly shifted the rhythm. He scored with his first touch, then helped Achraf Hakimi equalize. Then, the massive moment. Monaco's Alexander Golovin was sent off early in the second half. From there, PSG controlled the tie like champions. They slowed the game, tilted the pitch, and kept Monaco running. Doué eventually grabbed the winner. So, what does 3-2 mean for Paris? PSG win or draw at home, they're through. If Monaco win by 1, it's extra time. Win by 2 or more, Monaco go through. It's delicate. Monaco need a plan, not just hope. They must be brave enough to attack, but organized enough not to get cut open. Losing Golovin is a huge blow. PSG's plan is clear. Don't let Monaco have a clean start again. Opening up against PSG at home is like inviting a storm into your house. Third, Benfica 0, Real Madrid 1. This was a classic Real Madrid away leg job. No fireworks, just control, patience, and one transition. 5 minutes after halftime, Mbappé led the counter, and Vinicius Jr. finished it with a curled strike. Pure Madrid efficiency right there. But this match was overshadowed by a serious alleged racist incident involving Vinicius, triggering the anti-racism protocol. That context matters. Benfica pushed, but Real managed the danger, and it got worse for Benfica. Their coach Jose Mourinho was sent off after 2 yellow cards. Aggregate is 1-0. This tie is very much alive. A real win or draw sees them through, but 1 goal from Benfica drags it to extra time. Benfica's problem: if you chase at the Bernabeu, your rest defense must be perfect. If your midfield separates, Real will counter into those spaces. With Mbappé and Vini, you don't defend with vibes, you defend with spacing and smart fouls. Real will strike when Benfica's structure breaks. Finally, Borussia Dortmund 2, Atalanta 0. This was the most tactically clean win of the night. Early goals are poison for the away side. Serhou Guirassy scored in the 3rd minute and then set up Max Bayer before halftime. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. That is clinical. Dortmund won the structure battle. They protected central areas and forced Atalanta into long-range efforts that didn't trouble the keeper. Aggregate 2-0. Atalanta need to win by 2 for extra time, or 3 to go through. It's hard, but they're at home in Bergamo next. Atalanta must attack with coverage. If they chase too hard, Dortmund will land a counter. They need controlled pressure, not total chaos. Dortmund's plan: don't gift an early goal. Keep it level for 30 minutes, and Atalanta will feel the time pressure. That's when shape breaks. Ranking chances: Galatasaray have the seatbelt with 3 goals. PSG are strong heading home. BVB are in a good spot, and Real lead is the most fragile. That's the beauty of Champions League. The second leg is where mentality gets exposed. Lovely people. Let's switch from tactics and talk about something bigger than football, because Benfica versus Real Madrid was halted for around 10 minutes. Vinicius Jr. reported racist abuse, briefly stepping away from the pitch. During a match, Real Madrid won 1-0. The result is real. The stoppage is real. Real Madrid won 1-0 at Estadio de Luz. Vinicius scored the winning goal early in the second half, a curled finish after a counter-attack involving Mbappé. But moments after scoring, everything changed. Vinicius got into a confrontation with Gianluca Prestiani, who appeared to speak while covering his mouth. Vinicius interpreted the remark as racist and reported it to referee François Letexier. That's when the game was stopped for around 10 to 11 minutes. And the referee didn't just say, "Let's play on." He triggered the official UEFA anti-racism protocol. This was a major stoppage in a knockout match. A key detail, the alleged remark was not captured by cameras. Whatever happens next depends on reports, recordings, security footage, and witnesses. So when people ask, why didn't we hear it? That's why. The match still stopped because the referee treated it seriously enough to activate protocol. Now let's talk about what that stoppage did to the match. This wasn't just a moral moment, it was a competitive moment too. Real had just scored. The whole atmosphere shifts after a goal. Benfica would normally have to respond immediately, but the stoppage froze the match. It gave them time to reset. It also forced Real Madrid to manage elite decision-making while a teammate is dealing with something that hits far deeper than football. It's destabilizing. It doesn't just affect one player, it affects everyone's head, and it changes how the next 30 minutes of the game are played. The tension didn't vanish. The atmosphere turned darker, with boos and emotions boiling over. Reports describe heated reactions from Real players, including Mbappe's anger. Then the chaos reached the benches. Benfica coach Jose Mourinho was shown a red card after a second yellow while protesting a decision linked to Vinicius. Let's be disciplined with language. Confirmed, the match was halted for roughly 11 minutes. Vinicius reported abuse and protocol was activated. Alleged, the exact words said, and whether they can be verified via evidence beyond the broadcast. Now, here's the deeper issue. Why is this so heavy? Vinicius Jr. is not new to this. He has been one of the most high-profile players to repeatedly speak out and demand stronger action. He's faced this before. So when this happens again, in the Champions League, it raises the same question. Is football protecting players in real time, or just reacting after the damage? Protocol is one thing, consequences are another. A stoppage sends a message, but credibility comes from what happens after, the investigation and punishment. And that's where this story goes beyond Benfica and Real Madrid. This becomes UEFA's test. This becomes football's test. It's about what happens next. Competitively, Real take a 1-0 lead back to Spain. Benfica still have a route back, but emotionally, that second leg is now heavily loaded. Because when a player says, "I was racially abused," it doesn't just disappear. It follows everyone into the tunnel, the press room, and the next match. Lovely people, Real got the result. Vinicius got the goal, but the sport now has to answer the bigger headline with action, not just noise. That is the real test. Lovely people. A disgrace for football. That's the phrase Trent Alexander-Arnold used while reacting to the alleged abuse directed at Vinicius Jr. When Trent added, "Hopefully there is justice involved," he wasn't talking about vibes, he was talking about consequences, proper investigation, and accountability. Let's lock in what's confirmed first. Real Madrid won 1-0 in Lisbon, with Vinicius scoring the decisive goal early in the second half. Accuracy matters here. After his goal and celebration, there was a confrontation. Vinicius reported to the referee that he had been racially abused. The match was halted for 10 minutes. The referee initiated UEFA's anti-racism protocol. Now, what remains alleged is the exact words used. Broadcast footage didn't catch it clearly. This is why the post-match process matters. So where does Alexander-Arnold come in? He called the alleged abuse a disgrace for football and society. That statement is important. It shows this wasn't treated as banter. Trent reinforced the seriousness of play stopping and protocol being triggered. Trent's justice language signals a demand for action. In modern football, these incidents follow 3 stages: report, evidence gathering, and disciplinary process. Don't let this get brushed away. Why is this headline so explosive? Because it isn't happening in isolation. Vinicius has faced this repeatedly. Is football evolving fast enough to protect players? A 10-minute stoppage reshapes the match. It freezes momentum and resets emotional intensity. Real Madrid must stay organized while supporting their teammate. Benfica must calm the stadium. Both teams are playing 2 games at once. Trent's wording suggests the sport shouldn't put players in this position. Now we must address 2 pressures: protecting the victim and avoiding punishment without evidence. Justice means the process must be rigorous, fast, and transparent. That's the standard Trent is asking for. UEFA are now expected to review the report. This investigation will shape what follows. When a player like Trent speaks out, it's a signal that players want the system to match the slogans. Lovely people. Real won the match. Vinicius scored. But the story now is accountability. If there's no real justice, then the slogans are just noise. Stay smart, football family. Peace and love for the game. I am smart. That is the real Champions League test. See you in the next one.